Hey y'all, happy Monday. This is Miss Bliss. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today I'm kind of recapping all of last week's training as well as today's training. So kind of a little bit of a longer video, but it's a lot of really good materials that I'm really happy to go over, as well as a little bit over the weekend because I had my first days of grad school this week. So that started on Thursday and it went all day on Saturday, and then my sister came in. We had an art exhibit that kind of also tied in, which was really cool and unplanned. So just a testament that you can learn anywhere. So that was a really good experience. It was really great having her here. So I hope you all had a really great weekend as well, but let's dive in. So last week we talked about grading, which is something I'm obviously not familiar with, having had no teaching background and experience. So I think that I was really excited to learn about that. I was like, I don't know how to evaluate, especially subjective things. I mean, I know how to do grammar and those sort of things in math, but validating an idea or something was interesting to me to learn. What I did learn about my particular school was that we are standards-based, and I really love this model. I really recommend it. I don't know if you have your own kind of freedom and way to influence that, but I definitely think that it is a really useful tool. So basically what it means is that your grades are directly representative of how well you've mastered a skill in a standard. So I learned the difference of a standard and an objective last week, and I put it on my Instagram. It's on a little graphic. I definitely recommend checking that out. But so a standard is a goal by the end of the school year, and an objective is by the lesson. By the end of the lesson, you should have a skill that you should develop. And so it comes from the standard. It has the same skill, the same concept, and it's from a certain context. And at the end is a by statement of how you're going to get there, and its objective is student will be able to, and then that's the breakdown. It's a lot clearer in my graphic if you want to head over there. That is really helpful for lesson planning as well. That's a little tool that I learned because my lesson planning is really intense, and we will be having minute by minute, and we are turning them in. So it's a little bit, especially in the beginning, it's a little overwhelming to do that much, especially because we don't have our curriculum yet. But I know that it's gonna be really good practice, and I know that once you get in the gist of it and the rhythm of it, it comes a lot easier. So I'm excited to learn more about it. My grad school actually touched on it as well, so it's kind of confusing. I was like, wait, did I learn that here or the other place? But it was really cool to see them intertwine. And then back to grading. Sorry, I kind of got on a tangent there, but that is my next topic. So grading, I think that it is really helpful to have the standards-based model. That way you are directly reflecting what the students have learned, and it's not inflated by participation, attendance, work habits, and all these different things that are important and are representative differently. Though I think we have a separate grade for those types of really good indicators, because they are important. Your job is going to require you to turn in your work and be there and all these different things, but I think it is hard because you want to especially for testing later on, you want to know how well the students are going to be able to do, and it's a better indicator if it doesn't have all those other inflators and random things like when teachers say, bring in extra school supplies and you get 5 points on the test, or just different things like that. Staying after school, just doing extra credit, I think it does help because you do want them to get that extra practice in. But at the same time, we have to use different tools and you can say that, that's for the work habits grade and different things. And so that way it is more representative, and you'll be a bit better indicator of how your students are going to do end of year testing, which is important. You want to know who and where those skills need to be bumped up so that they know it, most importantly, not just for testing. You want to make sure that they actually learned what they are going to be tested on, and also just set for the year. So that was really a cool thing to learn. That's how we'll be doing it. And then lesson planning, we kind of touched on it already. That's how we're going to be doing it, is the minute by minute model. And my other teacher, she basically is my professor because she's got 10 years of experience. She's super helpful in this whole process. I mean, she's been kind of holding my hand as we did this first lesson plan, just helping me through it and being such a great resource, because we don't have our curriculum yet. And she was like, you should use Engage New York, which is a tool I really recommend. We're about to learn so many different resources. I'm so excited to share with you all. It will all be on my Pinterest at Miss Bliss Teaches and on my Instagram as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. For my as I learn those resources, I will definitely be sharing them with you all. A little side thing was I went to nothing on my channel is an ad yet. Hopefully I'll get some paid promotions eventually, but nothing is right now. But I will say I went to the Dollar Tree this week. And there was a lot of good little cute school things, like composition books were $1 and they were cute. And there was like a little sign that's like first day of school, and then just like little pens and papers that you just think are cute and wanted in the classroom. I went and got there, so I definitely check that out if you have one near you. Sorry, totally unrelated tangent. Back to actually what I was doing. So school started this week, and this is a grad school. We talked about culturally responsive teaching, which I think is a really important thing. I really want to teach for social justice, and I thought it was really cool that my school is so relevant and they do want to talk about these hard issues that I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with, that I definitely like have had uncomfortable like feelings towards. I think that especially coming from like a white woman, I'm like, I really want to have these conversations, but I don't ever want to come off as like, oh, I know your experience is better than you do. Like, obviously I don't. I want to be taking the role as more of a facilitator and just kind of an active listener and just kind of setting the stage and teaching them the history. And I've done that because I've done a lot of research, and I will continue to do a lot of research because it is really truly just like you never stop learning on all these different things, especially because I don't have those experiences. I have something to learn from everyone I meet. And I thought it was really cool that my school is actually diving with that and providing us some tools. So I'm excited to pass those along with you all too. But basically, like I said, you're just kind of the facilitator right now, and you just kind of, especially if something happens in the news or different things, I think it's cool to like do a current event in the morning for students that they can kind of bring in whatever's relevant to them and what they're paying attention to. I think that usually sparks a really good topic. Social studies is usually a pretty easy transition to say, you know, we talk about the Civil War, like actually just diving in and like actually having those conversations that matter. I think that's really important. I'm really excited to learn more tools and how to appropriately do that. You know, I think that I said my end of the year, my professional goal was like how to like have a peaceful protest. I thought we'd do it like on Earth Day or something, and, you know, just have like a sit in, and because I mean, it is the children's future, you know, you want to have them have a say in it and just being able to use their voices and just say however they feel. So I think that is a good professional goal, I hope. I don't know if my administration will think so. We'll find out. They'll enjoy this sit-in or not. But I don't know. I think that was just a really cool thing. And it also went along with my, when my sister came to town, I took her to the Frisk Art Museum, and Kara Walker had an exhibit that was just amazing. It was the whole top floor, and it was just like really just moving, and just, I kind of, at the end of it, I told my sister, I was just like, I was kind of confused and I was kind of uncomfortable, and she's like, yeah, that's like how you should feel, and like you should also just like kind of dive in and realize that, like, sit with those feelings for a minute. And then there was a whole book of like, how did you feel and how did you like take that, and it was cool to see people's responses and just to see how everyone's affected by art differently. And it was just cool to think that, you know, I'm learning no matter where I go, and it was just an opportunity that I didn't know but I was open to. And it was just that growth mindset, you know. I was like, oh, like I didn't really know how to take it at first, and, you know, my sister saying like, oh, that's how you're supposed to feel. I was like, yeah, you're right. And I just kind of sat with it, and I was like thankful, and that's something I definitely want to keep going, and I definitely want to keep learning more, and I definitely encourage other people to do that as well. So thank you so much for tuning into Miss Bliss. Ignorance is Miss Bliss. I hope y'all have a great week, and I'll see you back here. Thanks.